The internet was built to unite the world. Instead, it took control of those that live within it. One major server fails, half the world goes dark.
The internet.
Shutdowns and usually overlap.
In Iran is still severely degraded. It's almost impossible to get online.
Iranians are now entering their 23rd day without internet access. The measure adds to the wartime distress of millions of civilians who lack independent sources of information and alerts.
My work depends on the internet, so I'm forced to come here to Turkey to access it and do my work, and then return to Iran to see how conditions develop.
Internet shutdowns were recorded in 35 countries in 2019. That's 40% more than in 2018. Cutting off the internet has become the go-to move for authoritarian governments that want to control the flow of information. Strongmen like this play because limiting communication prevents people from organizing and makes it really hard for reports of human rights abuses to get out. Some countries cut communications repeatedly. In 2019 alone, India shut down the internet in different parts of the country 106 times.
We've seen longer shutdowns. So what that means is that, the internet would be off normally for a day to, if it goes really for a very long time, would be 1 week or 2 weeks. But this time around, we've seen countries shut down the internet for 120 days, 150 days.
One algorithm decides what you see. This isn't connection. This is dependency wearing a mask of freedom. Disinformation spreads because the system harvests your attention, not your mind. They sold you freedom, then locked you in their walls. Your data, your finances, your reality. Rented, not owned. You own nothing.
I believe there was somewhere around the latter part of 2021 about the plan to crash the internet. And then I was speaking to you by the Spirit, and I said, the plan to crash the internet and replace it with a new system and new protocols. At the time I told you by the Spirit, but more recently I got information on the actual efforts to doing that. And they've been working at it. So maybe sometime soon, probably the next Loveworld specials or so, talk to you about it so you get to know what's happening and what we're doing to make sure they are under control. Yeah, so what they want to do is crash it, come up with a new system with new protocols regulated by them, because the internet as it is today is too free. Too many people can say whatever they like, and so regulating it is a bit difficult. So why not crash the World Wide Web to begin with, and then crash the whole thing? So they have a plan of what it should be replaced with. And then you can't communicate except you're on their side. But we have news. They are not in control. We are in control. Whether they know it or not, whether they like it or not, we're actually in control through the power of the Holy Ghost.
By the mandate of our founder and father, led by God, we journey to link the world within God's constellations. We built Interlink, a smarter and better way of connecting the world. Owned by the many, not the few. Your identity.
Yeah, the internet was created to make it possible for two devices to communicate to each other. That was the initial reason why it was created. Yes, and then now it has evolved into this, global thing that everyone can do can communicate with each other.
You kind of expect that, don't you? When you give people the ability to build on something that connects them to someone in another country or someone in another country, come on. I would build on it too. We all build on it. Definitely.
But then from the way then they graduate from that into something that now has like a central point, because for instance now, if I want to communicate with you now, I can't communicate with you directly from the internet. Yes. I have to communicate with you through a central authority one way or another. Absolutely. And this central authority has control over what I can say, or even how I can even talk to you in the first place.
They have control over everything. They actually have control over everything. They have control over what you see.
Yes.
They have control over what you do. They have control over if you have the ability to connect to the internet.
Exactly.
Because think about it. 95% near 95% of all the data is passed through 3 specific locations, just 3 regions. Imagine if any of those 3 regions are attacked.
Or there will be a lot of places where would no longer have the ability to communicate with each other. Because think about it, like if we're in the same region, I should be able to communicate with you directly.
Absolutely.
And then imagine, because of the internet, if the access to internet in that country is cut off, I would not be able to communicate with you, despite the fact that we are in the same sort of region. And the fact that the internet is centralized again, what that also allowed some government organizations to do is to cut off access to its citizens. Like the example of Nigeria.
That was very fun, bro. 2021, when our president banned us from using Twitter for 7 months because they took down his post.
Yeah, exactly. So like they took down the post of the president because of something that he said that was against Twitter's policy, and the government went ahead to ban the whole of Nigeria from using Twitter.
It was very interesting because I'm not really much of a social media person, but that was the time when I said, let me start my social media journey, and then I opened and like, you can't use Twitter, and I'm like, wow.
Exactly. And that is just one example. There've been a lot of examples where certain countries have banned the users from accessing certain services for their own personal and selfish gain. Right? And that is only possible because the internet is centralized. So that is how the internet works. But that's why we are currently working on Interlink, because Interlink allows you to communicate with any other person that is within your range without the need of a central authority.
Absolutely.
So it allows you to communicate from one device to another. You can do every other thing that you can do on the internet on the Interlink also. So that is the goal, and that is what we are working on here.
And the most beautiful part is we will not be focusing on any form of fiber connectivity, right? So we're focusing mostly on waves. So there will be no fiber. So let's now talk about the 3 regions. You cannot attack our cable at the bottom of the ocean. No, you won't take us down. You can't attack our cable.
You can't take us down. You can't censor us because we have access to each other. We are connected by the Interlink. There's no other way to better have a system that is sustainable and that can go by itself.
Absolutely. And my favorite part about the Interlink, because I had a very interesting conversation with the second lead dev on Interlink, and he was telling me about how I can use my phone to power Interlink. Like, you connect to the Interlink server, and I connect to your hotspot, and I can extend the range of Interlink.
Exactly.
Right? He began to tell me about how the clusters work. Right. Once someone in this region has an Interlink, everybody in that cluster can connect. And if someone in this region gets an Interlink, the cluster just connects. So now the cluster gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's smart. That means that the more people join the network, the stronger the network is. So there is strength in our numbers. So and that was great. And I think that's one of the most amazing things. And I'm glad to be part of the project.
It's reminding me of how the blockchain started.
Yep.
Because if you look at it, it is extremely decentralized right now.
Yep.
Unlike the internet, which is centralized from both the governmental angles to the corporate angle and to the fiber angle. So there are 3 people centralizing the internet right now: the government, the corporates, and the fibers. The fact that the fibers exist means it can be attacked. The fact that the governments can tell the ISPs to say, "Oh, I don't want my country to have access to this platform," and they can do it on an entire country scale, on the national scale.
But that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, look at the issue in North Korea where they don't have access to the regular internet. But with Interlink, each and every citizen there would be able to have access to communicate with each other.
Beautifully.
You're saying that damage to businesses, right? The people who build their businesses on the internet, and all of a sudden the internet goes off. What happens to their business of that?
Their business is gone. Their business is gone. Because if you end up relying solely on the internet to make your entire business work, and for some reason the government shuts down the internet access to your country, or shut down the internet access to a specific country where you have most of your users in, you are down to zero. So
there's a perfect example of that when the Sudan civil war, when the internet got shut down for about 10 days. Imagine how much was lost in economic value.
That would be because hospitals, schools rely on this internet. So imagine not being.
We are talking of billions of dollars.
I'm very sure. Imagine not being able to learn.
Wow. Imagine your doctor not being able to access your files.
Exactly.
And then he goes and gives you a kind of penicillin that will kill you.
Exactly. because of the fact that the internet is centralized. So I generally feel like if you are building any sort of core infrastructure within a country, you should not rely on a central authority for a central internet to make that work. I think you should use Interlink, because you are very sure that no central authority can come one day because it's having the bad money and just switch off your internet. It doesn't. That doesn't work.
Because they took down your president's post.
So like that doesn't work. So I think the internet is the future, and I think everyone should jump on it as soon as they can.
I like to see that the Interlink is the rebirth of the internet. It's the rebirth of the internet.
Yes, definitely it is, and I think it's the future of the internet also, because I think I said it gives power back to the people, it gives power back to the individual. It lets them dictate how they communicate. Like I said, and I've said it a couple of times here, if I want to communicate with you, I should not have to go to the internet. I should be able to communicate with you through our devices, and that is the core principle of what Interlink is built upon.
So we are going to be comparing what we have, which is the Interlink versus the internet. So we have a brief demonstration here with the Link app, which is a platform that we created on the Interlink. So right now, these two gentlemen will be transacting with the Interlink without access to the conventional internet as the internet itself. So let's see. Over to you. Can you explain what we have here?
Alright, so like the president has said, this is the Interlink, where right now I am not connected to the internet in any way. My airplane mode is turned on, and if I try, and it would also show that if you try to access the regular internet right now, the site can't be reached. So we cannot browse on the internet, but I'm going to text him, and he's going to text me back. Right? So let me send the message. So immediately he gets it.
It was that fast.
Yes.
So you've gotten the message he sent with the Link app on Interlink.
Yes.
Okay. While you still don't have access to the internet. Okay, can you respond to him?
I already did, and he has gotten it.
Yes, I have gotten the message too.
Amazing. Immediately.
Yes.
Okay, so
you can also share files.
Okay, so share a file, send something, maybe.
Let's take a selfie.
Okay.
Okay, let's take one.
Oh.
You need to show inside. Wonderful. Okay.
So now watch the screen. So let's watch as soon as it's immediately.
It is that fast.
Immediately.
Amazing. And the internet, this is not the internet, nothing.
Nothing.
Amazing. Okay, so can we try like a call, maybe from there?
Yes, we can try a call.
Yes, we can. You and Dimitri.
I should call? Alright. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, if you walk.
Okay, you should take a walk. So, hello. Oh, I can still hear you.
So we are speaking.
So we're speaking about the Interlink right now.
Right now, yes, sir.
Amazing. And no connection to the internet whatsoever.
None at all.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Link browser. Link browser. Okay.